I'd like to welcome you to the Emotion Code webinar today, How to Release Your Trapped Emotions for Abundant Health, Love, and Happiness. I'm Dr. Bradley Nelson, and the Emotion Code is really the 21st century way to be well. A little about me: I've spent 22 years in practice, actually 23 now, I guess, in one form or another, as a holistic physician, 14 years of teaching seminars worldwide. We have a network of global practitioners around the world that I'll show you a little bit later. I'm the author of the Emotion Code and also the Body Code Healing System, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. And I'm a world-recognized authority on energy psychology and bioenergetic medicine. Now, to understand the Emotion Code, real quickly, some of you are, of course, familiar with all of this, but for those of you who are not, we'll just kind of run through this really quick so we're all on the same page. It's important to understand that you are energy. You're made of energy. If you look at your hand, it looks pretty solid. But if you could magnify that hand about 40 times, you would actually be looking at the individual cells in the hand. If you could blow that hand up to about 850,000 power magnification, you'd be looking at the molecules that make up the hand. And here, for example, we're looking at a strand of DNA, and you can see the molecules in there that make that up. If you could zoom in on one of those, at about 1 million power magnification, you'd be looking face-to-face with a single individual atom. And if you could look inside that atom, you'd see that there's really nothing in there but empty space and energy. They say that if the nucleus of an atom were the size of an apple, the nearest electron would be about, I think, 5 football field lengths away. So that's how much empty space there is inside of us. And we really are beings of pure energy. Well, we have this energy body inside of us that anciently was called the prana or the ki or the chi. This is spirit, I believe, that is what animates us, and it provides the template for our physical body. Well, this part of us can become imbalanced, and this is where trapped emotions really reside. Okay, this is where they live on this energetic level. Well, we know that thought is energy. Everything is energy. There isn't anything in the universe that we know of that doesn't consist of energy. We can measure thoughts electronically using an EEG. We can measure emotions as well. And it seems that each emotion has its own specific, unique vibrational frequency. Well, it's good that we have emotions. If we didn't have emotions, our lives would be lived in shades of gray. We wouldn't be happy. We wouldn't be sad. It would not be a life worth living, I think. But unfortunately, sometimes we end up with emotional baggage. And we now understand what emotional baggage really is. Our emotional baggage consists of trapped emotions. What's a trapped emotion? Well, normally we feel emotions and then they're processed immediately. But sometimes that emotional energy is too powerful for us to deal with. And it can become trapped in the body. And a trapped emotion can be very damaging to us. These can occur at any age. They can be inherited. They can contribute to inflammation and pain and congestion and many diseases, including cancer, and are an underlying cause of depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, phobias, panic attacks, self-sabotage, mental illness, and more. A trapped emotion is actually a ball of energy about the size of an orange or a cantaloupe, and it may lodge anywhere in the body, but wherever it lodges, it will distort the normal energy field of the body, causing tissue imbalances and eventual physical sickness. But during the years that I was in practice and since then, I've seen every kind of condition, and every condition that I have seen has had trapped emotions as an underlying cause of that problem, and sometimes I believe as the only cause or the major cause. And this ranges from acid reflux to migraines to allergies to abdominal pain to asthma, back pain, Bell's palsy, cancer, carpal tunnel, chest pain, chronic fatigue, on and on and on. So the other thing that goes on is that trapped emotions create a resonance in your tissue. In other words, if you have a trapped emotion of depression, for example, from a period of depression that you went through that maybe only lasted a few weeks, and maybe it was 20 years ago, but it was powerful enough that you developed a trapped emotion from that. That trapped emotional energy now is inhabiting part of your body. And those tissues that are in that sphere of energy, a trapped emotion is about the size usually of a baseball, about the size of a cantaloupe. The tissues that are within that sphere of energy are in a continual vibrational resonance with that emotion. And so, here's another very abbreviated list. These are some of the things that I've seen get better by releasing trapped emotions, anxiety, including disabling anxiety, and in fact, it reminds me of back when I was still working with clients long distance by proxy. I had a client who contacted me from Scotland. He lived in Edinburgh, and he had social anxiety, really severe. Couldn't really leave his house, and it was really bad. So after working on him for a little while, he actually was able to leave his house, and he actually left his country. He came to a seminar that I taught in the U.S., and is doing really, really well. But anyway, depression, even suicidal depression, I've seen get well, simply from releasing trapped emotions, nothing else. Isn't that amazing? Of course, most people think if you're depressed or you're suffering from anxiety, you need some kind of medication, because that's how Western medicine treats these problems. But you see, treating these kinds of problems with medications is really just putting a Band-Aid on the problem and trying to deal with the symptoms. But the symptoms are really just the body's way of telling you that something is wrong, okay? And the most common thing that is wrong with us are trapped emotions. So frigidity, I'll tell you a quick story about, infertility, which is a little further down. I guess it's over here, and my list got chopped up again. Inability to achieve success, find love, overcome adversity, insomnia, isolation, learning disabilities, mental illnesses. I was thinking of infertility. I had a patient who came to me for fibromyalgia years ago, and she got better, and part of her problem was trapped emotions. Well, she told me about her daughter who was trying to get pregnant, and she had spent years doing in vitro fertilization and taking fertility drugs, and finally was able to conceive twin girls. And they were about 3 years old, and she wanted to get pregnant again and was looking at having to go through all of that again. And so her mother talked to me, and I said, well, why don't you have her come in? And so her daughter came in, and we checked her and found some trapped emotions, and among other things, and we were able to clear those out and get her going again. And no kidding, within about a month, 6 weeks maybe at the outside, it was very fast, suddenly she was pregnant. And about 3 or 4 months later, her mother called me up and she said, do you know what's going on with Nikki? And I said, no. And she said, well, I said, is everything okay? And she said, yes. And I said, well, what's going on? She said that she'd been to the doctor, and the doctor did some tests and everything, and he came back into the room, and he said, so Nikki, you're doing in vitro fertilization? She said, no. And he said, so you're taking fertility drugs? And she said, no. And he said, well, this is really strange. She said, well, what's going on? Is something wrong? And he said, well, no, but this is very unusual. He said, you're actually going to have triplets. So when the body wants to work, it can. And I wasn't sure if I should apologize or what for that one, but anyway, it wasn't my fault. Anyway, to continue here, let's talk about the conscious mind versus the subconscious mind. If you're hooked up to a lie detector, you might be a very convincing liar, but the person reading that polygraph will be able to discern that your body is actually revealing the truth about what you're saying. The conscious mind is only 10% at most of our intelligence. The subconscious mind, on the other hand, is 90% or more of our intelligence, and it's an archiving holographic computer. So it remembers everything you've ever done, every face you've ever seen in a crowd, everything, the whole history of your health or of your sickness, and also what trapped emotions you might have, what needs to be done to get you better. And like a binary computer, we can ask yes or no questions, and we can get answers. We can use muscle testing to get that information, and we can simply determine what the subconscious mind already knows, and that's how the emotion code works. You see, that information is already in there in each person. So, first of all, let's see here. I think we're going to go ahead and just skip the sway test. Most of you are probably familiar with this, but a plant will naturally grow toward light coming in from a window, and it will grow towards classical or soothing music. Plants will grow away from negative inputs such as acid rock music. And the human body has the same ability built right into it. And in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and skip over this. But this is in the Emotion Code book and in the e-book and on the videos and everything. So this is a very simple test. You can simply stand with your eyes closed, drop your hands to your sides, and if you think about a positive thing or a true thing or something that's a congruent thing, your body will tend to sway forward. Usually I'll have people think about unconditional love, and the body will sway forward all by itself when they do that. On the other hand, if you're thinking about something that's very negative or false or incongruent, what will happen is your body will sway backwards away from that thought if you hold that thought in your mind. And so we usually use the thought of war for this one, and it works really, really well. If you haven't tried this, you have to try it. We're going to skip over it today because I want to try to work with you with as many of you as I can. So let's actually go ahead. I'm going to lower all the hands right now, and what I would like to do here, first of all, is let's see. Let's take a couple of people that are in pain, and then we'll maybe move on to something else. If you're in pain right now, most pain is caused by trapped emotions, believe it or not. I know that, and many of you know that, but eventually the world is going to figure that out as well. So what I'd like to do is take a couple of people. If you're in pain right now and you're at least a 5 on a 0 to 10 scale, 0 being no pain at all and 10 being really severe pain, if you're at least a 5 on that scale, click on the hand, and that will make you appear on my little console here. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, great. Let's talk to Aparna. Aparna, can you hear me okay? Aparna? Can you hear me okay? Aparna is on a mic, and sometimes it doesn't work as well when people are on a mic. For whatever reason. People are on a mic. For whatever reason. Yeah, we tend to get some delay there. So let's take a look here. Let me talk with Terry. Terry, are you there?
Yes.
Great. You're on a telephone. That usually makes it work better, but sometimes we can get away with talking to people on a mic as well. So Terry, what's going on? How can I help you today?
I have I've had for almost 9 months now, my left shoulder.
Okay.
It's frozen, and it's almost maybe 75% back.
Oh, okay. So you got about 25% left there that's still bothering you?
Yeah.
Okay. And those are usually pretty painful. If you try to move that around, you're at least a 5 then on a pain scale?
Yes.
Okay. Where would you say you're at if you move it around? What do you feel? As far as numbers?
8 probably.
Oh, okay, about an 8. All right. Okay. Well, let me show you how this works. This chart that we're looking at right here is the emotion code chart. And you can see there are 60 emotions on here, divided up into 2 columns and 6 rows. And so the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to actually work on you. I'm going to work on you by proxy. And there's nothing magical about this. There's nothing peculiar about this to me. This is something that we teach in the Emotion Code book and in the videos and so on. Anybody can learn how to do this. We have hundreds of practitioners around the world who do this and work with other people all over the world. It's a very concrete thing, and it's actually easily done. Now, what I recommend and what I do is I always like to start just with a moment of prayer and ask our Father in Heaven for a little help, so that because the way that this works, I believe, is that He loves you and wants to help you and works through me to do that. And so I'm just kind of the go-between. So we'll just have a moment of silence here, and I'll go ahead and do that, okay? Okay, let's see if we got a good connection here. And can I act as proxy for you? Yes, okay. All right, here we go. So let's ask this question. Now, what I'm doing now, for those of you who are new to this, I've just established what we call a proxy connection. And so normally, for example, if I were to make a statement like, my name is Brad, that's true, that is my name, normally that would be strong. However, right now, because I have made this proxy connection, if I say my name is Brad, that's actually weak, because my body has set aside its own needs temporarily to act on behalf of Terry. So if I at this time say my name is Terry, guess what? It's strong. Now, that's how this works. So we've got a good connection here, and it doesn't matter where you are on the planet. You could be anywhere, and it doesn't make any difference because energy doesn't know barriers of distance. It's not a problem. So let's ask, is there a trapped emotion that we can release that is contributing to this frozen left shoulder and the pain and so on? And the answer that I'm getting is yes. Now, how am I getting that answer? For those of you that are new, I'm actually doing muscle testing on myself to get that answer. And so you can do that too. It's very easy. We teach lots of different methods of that. So the answer is yes, there's a trapped emotion that is affecting you in that area. So let's see what that emotion is. Now, of course, I have no idea. Terry has no idea. Well, she might have an idea, but she may or may not be right. You never know about this. So let's ask, is this trapped emotion in column A on our chart? And the answer is no. Okay, so I'm testing myself. I'm getting a weak muscle response. So it's a no. Let's go to column B then. And is it in one of the odd rows in column B? No. So we just eliminated, first question eliminated column B, or column A, that was 30 emotions. Then the next time we asked a question, it was if the emotion was in one of these odd rows, row 1 or 3 or 5, and the body said no. So that means we've got 15 emotions left. It's got to be in column B, row 2 or 4 or 6. Is it in column B, row 2 or row 4? It's in row 4, column B. So we've just narrowed it down to 5 emotions. Okay, it's either depression, frustration, indecisiveness, panic, or taken for granted. Let's see which one it is. Is this emotion depression? No. Is it frustration? No. Is it indecisiveness? No. Is it panic? No. Is it taken for granted? Bingo. Taken for granted. I should have started at the bottom and gone up. So Terry, let me see here. You must have kids. Do you have kids? Terry, are you there still?
Yes.
Okay. I'm joking. You don't necessarily have to have kids, but I'm thinking of my own kids. That does show up on people with kids, of course.
Yes.
So does that ring any kind of a bell for you, that feeling?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's ask, do we need to know more about this emotion? And actually, your subconscious mind is saying, no, we don't need to know any more. The reason why I ask that is because the subconscious mind sometimes wants more information brought to the surface about a certain emotion or whatever. And so if it does, what that means is it wants more information brought to consciousness. And sometimes we have to bring a little bit more out about it. Like we can dig a little deeper and figure out, well, when did this occur? How old were you? Who was involved? But in this case, we don't need to do that. Your subconscious mind says, I know all about this. Just get rid of it. So I'm going to take a magnet, and I'm going to pass that magnet from my forehead over the top of my head to the back of my neck 3 times. And that's all it takes to release a trapped emotion. It's very, very simple. Let's ask if we cleared that trapped emotion, if we released that, and we did. And so what I'd like you to do now is go ahead and just slowly move that shoulder around, and let's see how that's feeling and how that's working now.
I think it's still about an 8.
Okay.
In a certain position, anyway.
Okay. All right. Well, let's check again now. A lot of the time when we clear trapped emotions, there are immediate changes that take place. Sometimes there aren't. Sometimes those changes take place over time, but that's okay. Let's ask this question again. Is there a trapped emotion that we can release from that's affecting your shoulder? And the answer is yes. So there is another one. Now you can have more than one, and here's an example of that. So is this next trapped emotion in column A on our chart? And the answer is yes. And is it in one of the odd rows? Yes. Is it in row 1 or row 3 or row 5? This one's in row 5 down here. So let's ask, is this trapped emotion blaming? No. Is it dread or fear? Is it horror or peeved? Okay. All of those were negative. Okay. The answer to all of those was no. So what does that mean? Some of you know. Some of you don't. When we are taken to a certain column in a certain row, and all the emotions in that row are no's, they're all negative, that means it's usually inherited. The subconscious mind will take you to the column and row, and then after that, it won't give you any more information until you actually use that word, inherited. Is that what this is? Is this an inherited emotion? And the answer is yes. Okay, so here we go. An inherited emotion is actually gotten from a parent at the moment of conception. And so it usually, of course, it comes from either mother or father, and it may have originated with them, or it may actually go back even further. And it might be from a great-grandperson, grandfather, whatever. Let's take a look here and let's ask, this inherited emotion, did you get this from your mother? No, you got this from your father. Okay. And did he get this from anybody earlier? No. Okay, so this originated with your father. What's the emotion? Is it blaming? Is it dread or fear? The emotion is fear. It's an inherited emotion of fear. So there was something that happened to your dad before you were conceived, and it created a trapped emotion of fear for him. And it was powerful enough that when you were conceived, he inadvertently passed some of that energy to you. And so is there anything that you know about as far as your father's life that might have created that, just out of curiosity?
I think he was telling me of a time when he was in a dark place, and I can't remember if it was a barn or a cave or something.
Okay.
That might be it.
Okay. All right, well, no worries. Let's ask if we need to know more about this, and the answer is no. Okay, so let's go ahead and release this one, this inherited fear. Now, I'm taking a magnet and passing that magnet from my forehead over the top of my head to the back of my neck, and we do this 10 times when it's an inherited emotion because that's what the body says to do. You do it 10 times, and it releases the energy from not only you but also from your father, and we also hold an intention to release that energy from anybody else that might have picked this up, including maybe one of your kids and so on. Or maybe all of your kids, you never know. Do you have kids?
Yes, I have 6.
You got 6?
Yes.
Okay, well, let's take a look here and see, and we'll ask if your first child picked this up, or your second or third or fourth. Your fourth child picked this up, inherited this, and that was it. Just that fourth child inherited this. And let's ask if we were able to release that from that child. Yes. Okay, so your fourth child had it but doesn't have it now. Let's ask if we released it from you, and also if that released from your father. Is your father alive or passed on?
Yes.
He is, okay. Well, you might want to call him and let him know that he may be emotionally up and down for a day or so. There's not much we can do about that. But anyway, that's good. So we've released that. I'd like you to go ahead and move your shoulder around now, and let's see how that feels now.
Okay, that's about 5.
Okay, all right. So we made some improvement there, down to 5. Okay, and I don't know if there's more we're going to be able to do or not. Let's ask: is there some other imbalance that we can work on with your shoulder to try to fix it today? I'm getting a no on that right now. So what that means is that we've released as much as we can release at the moment for that shoulder, and then this may continue to improve. We've gotten it to a 5, but it may continue to improve over the next few days. So let us know. You can send an email back to us. You can use the same address that the invitation came from. Okay, for the webinar. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Terry. Have a great day and keep us posted, okay?
Okay.
All right. Okay, wonderful. Well, let's take a look here. Let's take another person that's in pain here. So, let me look at all my raised hands here and we'll see. Okay, let's see. Let's talk with Marilee. Marilee, can you hear me okay? Marilee? Marilee, are you there? Okay, we'll have to try to come back to Marilee. Let's take a look here. Let's see if Brenda's available. Brenda, can you hear me okay? Brenda? Okay. Yeah, it definitely works better if you want to be a volunteer for these webinars. It definitely works better if you call in. It does cost a little bit, not very much. It's about the same as calling your Aunt Edna in Cleveland. But let's take a look here. Let's see if we can talk to Katherine. Katherine, can you hear me okay? Katherine?
I'm not sure if
I think I can hear you.
me.
Katherine, is that you? Katherine B?
Yep.
There you are. All right. Fantastic. All right. Let's take a look here.
Actually, my hand is actually lowered on here, so I didn't think I was connected.
Oh, that's okay. Did you want to be a volunteer?
Sure, I would love to be.
Okay. All right, great. So let me ask you, are you in pain of any kind right now, or do you have something that you'd like to work on?
Actually, I would love to, my right shoulder.
Right shoulder, okay.
Yeah. I've been having problems with it for years.
For years? Okay.
I had a stroke 5 years ago, and I had seizures on the right side, and I've had pain in that shoulder since I had those seizures.
Okay. Okay. So it's been bothering you for 5 years, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Now I'm actually going through to get certified in the emotion code.
Oh, wonderful.
I'm finding this absolutely fascinating. And so I've actually released approximately 49 trapped emotions for myself.
Okay, wonderful.
So
well,
I don't know if there's still more there. They keep popping up.
Okay. Well, let's take a look. Yeah, it's a process of getting rid of those, especially if you've been around for a while, if you've lived a life that has experienced some ups and downs or some emotional things, then yeah. One of the nice things about the emotion code is that if you're working on kids, it doesn't usually take very much time to get them completely emptied of trapped emotions. And then if you're raising those kids, if they're your kids or your grandkids and so on, as they're going through life, if they have some kind of an emotional upset or some traumatic thing happens, you can check them and then just clear that out and keep them cleared out. And it's pretty exciting. The ramifications of that we don't really completely understand yet, but I think we will.
Yeah.
So Katherine, on a 0 to 10 scale, what would you say about your shoulder? How much is it bothering you?
Right now, it's probably about a 6.
About a 6 right now. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let's ask this question. Well, first of all, let's have a moment, and I'll ask for some help for us.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see if we've got a good connection here and can act as proxy for you. Yes. Okay. So let's see here, Katherine. Is there a trapped emotion that we can release now that is contributing to your right shoulder pain? And the answer is yes. Okay, so let's see what this is. Is this trapped emotion listed in column B on our chart or in column A? It's in column A. And is it in one of the odd rows in column A? Nope. So it's in an even row. Is it in row 2 or row 4 or row 6? It's in row 6, column A. So it's one of these emotions down here. Is the emotion humiliation? Is it jealousy or longing? Is it lust or overwhelm? And again, all of these are negative. And so what that means again is that this is another inherited emotion. So let's take a look. This is an inherited emotion. What's the emotion? Is it inherited humiliation or jealousy or longing, lust, or overwhelm? It's an inherited emotion of longing. Inherited longing. Okay, and did you get this from your father or from your mother? You got this from your mother. Now you might think, well, gosh, I'm at this certain age now, and why is that showing up now, and why has it only been bothering me with my shoulder for 5 years? Well, you never know. Sometimes things take a while to develop. For example, if you received a toxic exposure today that was really severe, you might not develop a cancer from that for 20 years. because it takes time for things to happen in the body. The other thing that I think sometimes happens is if a problem is actually being caused by an inherited trapped emotion, I think that sometimes it may be because that ancestor, maybe 2 or 3 generations back, had that problem at that age. Maybe I don't know all the answers, but it's interesting. Now, did your mother get this from anybody earlier? No. So okay. Are you there?
Yep.
Okay, there's a lot of noise, so I wasn't sure if you were still there or not. Okay, do we need to know more about this? I'm sorry?
I'm hearing it too.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's kind of strange. Let's see. I'm going to... hold on one second. Okay, I just made sure all the other lines were muted. Okay, so let's go ahead and release this now. To release this energy, I'm using a magnet going from my forehead over the top of my head to the back of my neck. 4, 5 times. We do this 10 times. 7, 8, 9, and 10. All right. So let's ask if we release that inherited emotional energy from you. And the answer is yes. Okay, Katherine? I'd like you to go ahead and move that shoulder around a little bit, and let's see how that's feeling now compared to how it was feeling before.
Actually, much better.
Okay. All right, good. Now, that was about a 6. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's down to probably at least a 2.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, isn't it?
It is.
To think that...
Actually, I know that that probably makes it up to 12 inherited trapped emotions that I've gotten rid of now.
Oh, good for you. Well...
Actually, I was watching one of the certification sections, and I started into the area where you go back generations. And I took one of them, with my great-grandparents. I took one with my great-grandmother and one with my great-grandfather, back 39 generations to each of them.
Wow, that's a long way.
Yeah.
That's a long way. I had one myself that went back 22 generations, and wow. That's a long way. But 39, man, that's really far. Okay, well, let's ask if there is... we took it from a 6 to a 2. Now, for those of you who are new to this, I want you to understand that what we're doing is real, and it actually we're not making this up, and it's really quite astonishing how much of an effect this inherited energy can have on us. And the emotion code is the only method that I know of that enables us to actually zero in and figure out what these emotions are in such a rapid way, and also that enables us to figure out whether an emotion is, for example, inherited like this. See, the only way that you could figure that out would be to actually tap into the subconscious, because your conscious mind has no idea, absolutely no idea. And so let's ask if there is, let's see if there's another emotion here that we can release to help this issue with you. And I'm getting a no on that. How does it feel right now? Is it still at a 2, or is it continuing to get better?
It's continuing to get better.
Okay. I think that's...
No, it's awesome.
Okay, wonderful. Well, great, Katherine. I'm excited for you to get certified, and this was fun. Thanks for calling.
Thank you.
Okay, take care. Bye-bye.
Hey, bye-bye.
All right. Okay, so... what we saw there were really a couple of amazing things. First of all, she's had this pain. Katherine's had that pain in her shoulder for 5 years, and it was a 6 today. And we took it down to a 2, but probably by the time we got off the phone, it was probably, since it was continuing to get better and better, it was probably down to a 1. It's not unusual with the emotion code to take somebody who is at a 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and even a 10, and take them, just by releasing an emotion or two, you can actually take them all very often down to a 0. And we'll probably see that on the call today. But I want you to understand how really amazing that is if you think about it. Two really amazing things. First of all, that an emotional energy can have that kind of an effect on us and create pain of that magnitude, that's amazing. But the other thing that's really amazing is that it can be released at a distance like this so easily and so effectively. That's the other really amazing thing. I'm telling you that the emotion code is really a revolution that is begun in how we look at emotions, and we're finally understanding what these things really do to us. So let's take a look here, and let's see if we can talk to Kathy. I don't know if we're going to be able to talk to Kathy or not. Kathy, hold on just a second here. I don't think we'll maybe try to come back. Let's try Laura. Laura, can you hear me? Okay, Laura K. Laura? Are you there? Laura? I think I can hear something. Laura? Okay, guess not. She's on a microphone too. Let's go back to Kathy. Kathy, are you there? Kathy M. Kat, there you are. Okay. You made it there. Good deal. Okay, Kathy, what's going on with you today?
Well, I have multiple sclerosis, and I deal with pain from my chest all the way down to my feet, and I have pain everywhere.
Okay. All right. Well, let's take a look. We'll have a moment here of silence, and I'll ask for some help for us. Okay. Let's see, Kathy, if we've got a good connection here and can act as proxy for you. Okay. So you were diagnosed with MS how long ago, or how long have you been dealing with this?
Since 1987.
Okay. And how old are you right now?
56.
Okay. All right. Well, first of all, we can ask, is there a trapped emotion that we can release now that is contributing to your MS symptoms? And actually, the answer is yes. So let's take a look and see what it is. Is it in column A, this emotion? No. So it's in column B. Is it in one of the odd rows in column B or an even row? Is it in row 2, 4, 6? In row 2, column B, so it's one of these. So is this emotion failure? No. Is it helplessness? No. Is it hopelessness? Yes, it's hopelessness. Okay. So let's see when that's from. Hopelessness from when? Did this occur earlier than age 20? No. Earlier than age 40? No. Earlier than 50? Earlier than 50, so between 40 and 50. Did it occur between ages 40 to 45 or 46, 47, 48? Okay, this is from around age 48. So about 8 years ago, roughly. Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Does that ring a bell? Anything?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, it does. All right. So do we need to know more about that emotion? And your subconscious mind says no. That's all we need to know about it. So let's go ahead and release that emotion. Now, for a regular emotion like this, it still just takes 3 rolls. Okay, and that's all it takes. So let's ask, just for fun here, out of curiosity, let's ask that emotion of hopelessness. That was contributing to your MS problems or the MS symptoms that you've been dealing with. Is that true? And the answer is yes. Where was that emotion? Remember that a trapped emotion will always lodge somewhere in the body. And so where was this thing? Was it on the right side of your body or the left side of the body? Was it in the midline of the body? It was in the midline of the body. And so was it actually in the head or in the brain? Was it in the neck, in the thoracic spine? It was in the thoracic spine, upper, middle, lower, kind of in the lower thoracic spine. The thoracic vertebrae, of course, are the ones that have the ribs attached. Then the lower vertebrae are the lumbar vertebrae. So this was around what area? Let's see, 12, 11, 10, 9. Oh, it was right around the T9 area. Okay. Now, one of the things that happens, you see, when you have a trapped emotion, you have to understand the body is nothing but pure energy, this pure energy field. And when you introduce into that pure energy field a ball of negative emotion, which is what a trapped emotion is, then it will distort, that emotional energy will distort the normal energy field of your body and tweak it a bit so that things are not running like they should be. The energy is not flowing like it should. Chemical reactions are altered. It can really interfere with everything. So we got that one. So now let's ask, is there another trapped emotion that we can release now that is contributing to your MS symptoms? And the answer to that is no. So I'll tell you what we'll do here. I'm going to switch gears here for just a minute. And okay, I'm logged into healerslibrary.com right now, and you'll notice here we have the emotion code here, and then the body code. Now the body code is the most advanced system available as far as determining what's really going on with the body. And we have a series of mind maps that are on this page here. You can access these online. The body code itself is a self-study course that you can purchase at bodycodehealing.com. But I wanted to get into our mind map here so that we could take a look and see if we can dig a little bit deeper here and figure out what's going on another level with Kathy. Because we just asked if there was another trapped emotion we could release that was contributing to her MS, and the answer was no. And so let's take a look at this and we'll see. Is there another underlying imbalance that is creating these MS symptoms for you that we can release? And the answer is yes. Okay. Now I'm looking at this chart. We can ask if this imbalance is on the right side of this chart. And the answer is no. Now you may have an imbalance on the right side of the chart that may be contributing to your MS, but right now the body is giving us one imbalance at a time. And so this particular imbalance that it's giving us right now is not on this side, it's on this side of the chart. Is it some kind of energy imbalance? No. Is it a toxicity problem? No. Is it a problem then with the circuitry of your body? And the answer is yes. Okay, so is this an organ imbalance? No. Is it a gland imbalance or a chakra imbalance or a disconnection of the body, or is it some kind of a meridian imbalance? It's a meridian imbalance, so we'll click on the meridian button there, and then it shows us the 12 main meridians in the body. Let's ask if it's a meridian on the left side of this chart, and the answer is no. You see, your subconscious mind already knows everything that's on this chart, which is really one of the most amazing things about this, but believe me, it's true. I've been doing this for many, many years. So let's ask, your body is telling us there is a meridian that is not functioning like it's supposed to. And you don't have to be an acupuncturist to know how to do this. It's very simple. The most common underlying reason for an acupuncture imbalance is actually trapped emotions, in my experience. But let's see what this is. What emotion is this? Is it one of these top three? And the answer is no. So is it the triple warmer meridian or this Shaoyang Sanjiao channel? No. Is it small intestine or large intestine? It's this one, large intestine. So if we click on the map here, we get a picture of that meridian. We can go back out to our main map here, and we know we've got a problem with that large intestine meridian. And let's ask what the underlying reason is for that imbalance. And we'll ask if the underlying reason for this imbalance is on the right side of this chart or on the left. It's on the left. And so is it some kind of energy? Yes. Now, notice that when we first asked if it was some kind of energy, the subconscious mind said no, and that's because it wanted to take us and show us, it wanted to take us to the meridian and show us what meridian was actually being imbalanced here. But there's definitely something going on. Is it emotional or post-traumatic? No, there's some kind of a post-traumatic energy here, so we'll click on that link. Excuse me, and that brings up another page here that shows us, excuse me, had to get a drink there. Shows us 4 other kinds of imbalances that can occur, and we refer to these as post-traumatic imbalances. So it's one of these. Is it an imbalance on the right side of our chart here? No. So it's one of these. So is it a psychic trauma? No. It's a physical trauma. Now, a physical trauma occurs usually when you receive some kind of a physical blow, and the energy of that physical blow does not pass through you and go away. It actually stays with you sometimes, and that's a physical trauma. So that's what's imbalancing your large intestine meridian. And so let's ask this physical trauma. Do we need to know more about this? No. Does anything come to mind about any kind of a physical trauma that you might have had?
Yes.
Okay.
I sprained my foot a long, long time ago, in which ended me up so I couldn't stand hardly anymore because it was fractured too, and the doctor didn't pick it up, so I couldn't stand up, and then I ended up in a wheelchair.
Oh, let's ask if that's what this is actually about, or if that's what created this. And the answer I'm getting is yes. So let's go ahead and release that. Now, releasing an energy like this is the same as releasing a trapped emotion. You just go 3 times over the top of the head, down the back of the neck, and that releases that physical trauma energy. Okay, there we go. So, interesting. Let's go back just for fun here to our large intestine channel, and let's ask if we made a correction to that, and the answer there is yes. Okay, good. All right. So now let's come back and ask: is there another underlying imbalance that is contributing to your MS symptoms that we can correct right now? And the answer right now that I'm getting is no. That your body is saying that's all that we can work on at the moment. And so let's take a look here, and we'll go back. We'll go back to our back to our chart. So Kathy, let me ask you something. Sometimes when we release things like this, people can feel changes taking place in their bodies. Sometimes people will feel lightness or some tingling. Or...
I do feel lighter.
Okay.
I do feel 100% better.
Okay,
I
wonderful.
mean, seriously, it's quite amazing.
Okay, wonderful. That's great. Well, hopefully that will translate into continuing improvement for you. Now, when the body says, no, there's nothing else to do right now, it either means that, no, there's really nothing else to do, period, or it sometimes means, no, there's nothing else to do right now, but it may be after a day or two, there may be another layer of things that may surface and need to be cleared. So, let me just show you really quickly one of the other things on our site here at Healer's Library. You'll notice here there's a button that's called Find a Practitioner button, okay? And there are three things down below here that you can look at. You can look at our featured practitioners. Every week we try to feature one of our practitioners around the world, and so you can look at that. We also have our staff practitioners. And so we do have a few staff members who do sessions, and then also we've got our global practitioner map, and our global practitioner map shows you around the world the different practitioners that we have in different areas, more and more every week. Okay, so you can see that we've got people in Australia and New Zealand and the Philippines, the UK and Germany and France and Holland and Canada and the US, and we have a couple people down in Chile as well. So. What you can do here is if you go to this map, you can scroll down on this map and you can just read about our practitioners, and then if you find somebody that you'd like to work with, you can make an appointment with them, and you can do that right from there in many cases. And the beauty of it is that you don't have to actually choose somebody that's in your own town. You may not find someone in your own town. You may decide that this person in Germany is who you want to work with, or this person in Paris. It just depends. So that's the beauty of this, is that it can be done at a distance. And by the way, if you're interested in becoming a certified emotion code practitioner, it's very inexpensive, and you can go to the emotion code and just click on the Get Certified button right here. You can watch a little video, and it opens up what can potentially be a wonderful career. Being paid to actually help people to get well, and there's a tremendous need for this work in the world. So, Kathy, thank you so much for being on, and keep us posted just send an email back to the email address that you received when you got the invitation for this webinar, and you can let us know how things go and how you do, okay?
Okay, thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, we'll go ahead and mute the lines here. And, well, let's take a look. We've got a lot of people that are on here. I'll tell you what, let's do this. Now, some people get the idea that the emotion code is only good for pain, and that's really not true at all. The emotion code also works for all kinds of other problems, including depression, anxiety, panic attacks, phobias. If you're having a hard time finding the right person, if you're having difficulty making money, for example, or finding success, the emotion code works for all of those. The emotion code is the most powerful method that's ever been devised for performance issues. Okay, and so anyway, I think what we'll do in the interest of time here, because we're going to have to end at 1:30, I'm going to lower the hands for a moment, and if you have an issue that you'd like me to deal with, and it's maybe more along those lines, go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll try to take a look and see what we can do here with you. Okay? So let's take a look here. I wish we had time to talk to everybody. Let's talk to David S. David, can you hear me okay?
Yes, this is David.
Okay, wonderful. I can hear you just fine. So, how can I help you? What's going on?
Yeah, I sent a little note that I just recovered from prostate cancer. I took a product called Cantron, and I dieted, and I got rid of the cancer.
Okay.
I'm very happy about that. Very blessed and appreciative.
Yeah, wonderful.
Now I've got a challenge with the weight. I can't seem to lose weight. I guess my real challenge is maybe getting myself to exercise correctly.
Okay. Okay. Well, there are a couple of possibilities there. Let's take a look at this. Okay. First of all, we'll have a moment, and I'll ask for some help. All right. Let's see here, David. Can I act as proxy for you? Yes? Okay, here we go. So, a couple of things that we can look at here. First of all, let's ask, do you have a trapped emotion that is in your way of feeling motivated to exercise? How's that? Could be. And the answer actually is yes. Okay, so here we go. How you ask the question is everything, see? So, this trapped emotion, is it listed in column A or in column B? It's in column B, and is it in one of the odd rows or an even row? Is it in row 2 or 4 or 6? Is it pride or shame, shock, unworthy? There's a trapped emotion of unworthy, first of all. Not feeling good enough about something, and of course that's very demotivating. So at some point in your life you felt that energy. Do we need to know more about this? Yes, we do. So when the body says we need to know more about an emotion, the first place I always go is age. I always like to figure out when it occurred. So how old are you right now, David?
I'm 64.
64, okay. All right. Well, good for you for getting over that cancer. So you still have your prostate then, and
right.
Yeah, awesome. Well, before we let you go, we'll just tune in on your prostate for a second and see if it has anything to say. So, okay, this unworthy emotion. When did this occur? Did this occur earlier than age 30? No. 30 to 40? No. 40 to 50? Yes. 40 to 45? No. Around 45, 46, 47, 48, 49 is what I'm getting, around age 49. Okay. Does that ring any kind of a bell? If you think about what you were doing then, and maybe the relationships you were in, or what kind of work you were doing, anything come to mind?
Yeah, I think I might have been in a painful ending of a relationship.
Okay. Is that what this has to do with? I'm getting a yes. Do we need to know more about this now? No. Okay. So now your subconscious says, no, that we just needed to bring that out, what it was and what it was about. So let's go ahead and release that one. Okay, beautiful.
Now you say release it. What exactly are you doing?
Well, what I'm doing is I'm taking a magnet, and I'm passing that magnet, because I'm acting as proxy for you. So you and I are connected energetically. Now, if I were there with you, what I'd do is take a magnet or my fingertips, and I would just go down your back from the base of your neck down to your low back area 3 times to release that energy. What we're doing is we're putting energy into the governing meridian. The meridians are like little rivers of energy that flow just under the skin, and the governing meridian goes from the upper lip over the top of the head all the way down the back to the tailbone. And so when I'm acting as proxy for somebody, I don't have to pass a magnet down that whole length of that meridian. I can just go from my forehead over the top of my head to the back of my neck, and that's enough. So did we release that energy? Yes, we did. So now let's come back to this the exercise thing, and let's ask, is there another trapped emotion that is in the way of you feeling motivated and free to exercise? Now the answer I'm getting to that one is no. Is there a trapped emotion that is that will interfere, or that has been interfering with your ability to lose weight? Bingo. The answer is yes. Okay. So what is this emotion? Is this listed in column A or B? It's in B. Is it in one of the odd rows? Yes. Is it in row 1 or 3 or 5? It's in row 5. So here we are, right here. Is this emotion conflict? No. Is it creative insecurity? Yes, it is. It's creative insecurity. And creative insecurity is one of my favorite emotions to get rid of, because it will interfere with your ability to create. It's a feeling of insecurity that is specifically connected up to creating. And so the funny thing about this one is that whenever you try to create something, whether it's a relationship or a new job or a hobby or whatever it is, or losing weight, okay, it's creating a new thing, a new sort of existence for you. What comes up with that, or what will tend to come up, is this feeling of insecurity. It can be a subtle thing, but it can really derail you. This emotion of creative insecurity has made more people broke, I believe, than just about any other emotion. So, do we need to know more about this one? And the answer is no. Can you relate to that one at all?
Yeah, the only class I ever failed was art.
Yeah, okay, there you go. And you're probably a great artist somewhere in there. So here we go. Let's go ahead and release this. Yeah, this is a really important one, especially for people who make their living creatively, like artists and singers.
I'm a cinematographer, so yes.
Oh boy, okay. Well, man, I'm glad we're getting rid of this one. Okay, let's see. So did we clear that one? Yes, we did. Okay, is there any other trapped emotion that is that's interfering with your ability to lose weight? And the answer I'm getting right now is no. So you'll have to let us know how you do. And just for fun here, let's go back for a second. Let's go back to... I'm sorry, go ahead.
A message from my prostate, right?
Yeah, I want to take a look at your prostate really quick. And let's take a look at this, because I think this will be interesting for people. The organs in the body, the organs and the glands in the body, all have their own separate intelligence. And this is one of the things you learn about in the body code. That not only do people have intelligence and animals have intelligence, but I believe that God created everything to have joy in its own existence. And so the plants, they experience joy in that existence of theirs, and they're a lower level intelligence, but they're intelligent as well. And the organs that make up your body and the glands that make up your body, they are also separate intelligences. And they couldn't pass an SAT exam, but what they can do is they can tell you if they are in a state of discontentment. Okay. In other words, if an organ has all the nutrition it needs, and if it's getting rid of all of its toxic waste products, and if it doesn't have trapped emotional energies in there or other kinds of energetic imbalances, If it's got everything that it needs, it should be in a state of joy or contentment or happiness. And if it's not, then you can ask questions and you can zero in and find imbalances literally decades before something will actually go wrong, typically. So what I want to do with you, since you had this prostate cancer, I want to just zero in on your prostate for a minute, and let's ask a question of the prostate and just see what it says. Okay, here we go. All right, so this prostate gland, is your prostate happy or content? And the answer actually is no. Okay, so let's go back out here to our main chart and let's ask, is there an underlying reason why your prostate isn't happy? And the answer is yes. There's always an underlying reason. Is that reason on the right side of this chart? No. So it's on the left side of the chart. Is it some kind of energy? Yes. Is it emotional? No. Is it post-traumatic? No. Is it some kind of an allergy or intolerance? No. Is it a mental energy? No. So is it some kind of an offensive energy? Yes, it is. Okay, so now offensive energies, there are three of these, and as you can see, this map is very extensive. When you click on a link, it takes you to another map. There are actually 118 linked maps in here. But the beauty of it is anybody can learn how to do this because the subconscious mind already knows the answers. All you have to do is ask yes or no questions, and the subconscious will take you where you need to go. See, so okay, so this your prostate gland is unhappy is the reason because of some kind of cording or a post-hypnotic suggestion or a saboteur. There's actually a saboteur. Now, it's funny because I did 2 calls yesterday, and this showed up a couple of times on one of those calls, but a saboteur is basically an energy weapon that has been placed into your energy field, usually by somebody else, okay? Sometimes, if you're really upset at yourself, it's possible that you could create one of these inadvertently, and it could be self-inflicted, but usually these are from somebody else. So, let's ask if we need to know more about this, and the answer that I'm getting actually is no. But sometimes when people say things like, "Gee, that guy really stabbed me in the back," well, guess what? Sometimes there's actually an energetic corollary to a statement like that. People say things sometimes like that guy just felt like I got a noose around my neck. Well, sometimes I've seen that kind of thing happen. Sometimes these energy weapons are like a knife or some kind of a metal thing, or you never know. Sometimes it might even be a bullet. It's a strange thing, and this is one of the strangest things that we ever see with the body code. But these are real, and so let's ask if we need to know more about this. Your body says no, so I'm going to go ahead and release this thing, whatever it is. Okay, and that's all it takes is just 3 swipes of the magnet. And have we released that saboteur from you, and was that directly affecting your prostate? And the answer is yes. Okay, so let's go back to our main map here now, and let's ask, is your prostate happy now? And the answer is still no, okay? So let's ask, is there another underlying reason? Yes. Is it on the right side or the left side of the chart? So it's over here again. Is it an energy? Is it some kind of toxicity or a circuit imbalance? Okay, is it an organ or a gland or a chakra? It's actually a chakra this time. See, so the plot thickens. What are the chakras? Well, the chakras are the deep energy centers of the body. And there are 7 main chakras. You can see them here. This particular one, I'm guessing, is probably going to be either the sacral or the root. It's actually the root chakra. Now, the root chakra comes out of the perineal area, okay? And these are described as being like an energy vortex, like a tornado of energy coming out of the body. And they're all connected up. They all have different meanings. This one has to do with a sense of security, stability, sensuality, sexuality, potentiality, and so on. But this chakra is imbalanced, and why is that? Is there a reason for that? Yes. The reason for that, we'll go back out here and figure out the reason, is the reason on the left side of our chart here. Yes. Is it an energy? Yes. Is it emotional? Yes. Okay, so here we go. So here's our emotion chart. We're right back where we were. and let's ask, is this a trapped emotion, and is it on the left side of the chart here, or column A, in other words, or is it in column B? It's in column B, and is it in one of the odd rows? No. So is it in row 2 or 4? It's in row 4. So is this depression? Is it frustration, or indecisiveness, or panic, or is it taken for granted? Guess what? It isn't any of those. Now, this wasn't going to be, this wasn't supposed to be a seminar on the body code, but you can see how handy the body code is. You can find things that sometimes you can't find any other way. But this is an inherited emotion that is affecting your root chakra. Okay? So, hopefully this is interesting for everybody. An inherited emotion of what? Is it inherited depression, inherited frustration? It's an inherited emotion of frustration. And did you get this from your father? No, you got this from your mother. From your mother. Did she get this from anybody earlier? Yes, from her mother, from her father. She got it from her father. And did he get it from anybody earlier? No, it came from your maternal grandfather. Do we need to know more about this emotion? No, we don't. Do you have kids, by the way?
I don't have kids now.
No kids, okay. All right, let's go ahead and release this then. And again, we do 10 rolls on the governing meridian to release something like this that's inherited. And the beauty of that is that it releases not only from you, but also from your mother, who I assume is passed on, probably.
Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And also from her father. Even though they've passed on, you know, they're still connected to us.
She lost them at an early age, too.
Okay. Well, let's take a look here. Okay, we release that inherited energy, yes. Did that also release from your mother and from your father? Okay, fantastic. So they're grateful wherever they are. And now let's come back to your prostate. And let's see if your prostate's happy now. And guess what? It is. So there you go. So that's how that works. Okay, so
that's. I'm sure this is going to be helpful for. I mean, I know that I've killed the cancer in my prostate, but you know, the next step is to cleanse the prostate from the dead cancer. So that'll probably help with that.
Oh, absolutely, this will help because I mean, if you think about it, what is the prostate? Well, you can think of it in terms of histology and Western medicine, and of course, it's a collection of all these, you know, millions and millions of cells. But if you get right down to it, it's really just an energy field. It's a very highly organized energy field. That's what our body is. And so when you introduce a trapped emotion into that energy field, then it disrupts that energy field. And then all bets are off. You don't know what's going to happen. So releasing emotions like this or releasing these other energies can only help. And so one of the things that I want to point out, too, to people is that with the body code or the emotion code, we don't ever promise that we're going to cure anything. We don't ever tell anybody that we cure diseases or treat any kind of disease. We don't do any of that. All we try to do with the body code and the emotion code is we try to find out what the underlying imbalances are and then release those so that the body doesn't have anything in its way and it can actually get well. Because that's what it wants to do, is get well. Does that make sense?
Right.
Okay. Hey, well, listen, thank you, David. Let me know how you do, okay? Keep us posted, all right?
Well. All right, thank you, Doctor.
Okay, you bet. Take care. All right. Well, that was interesting, huh? So, let me go to a new page here really quick, and I have some questions coming in here, so let me see if I can answer some of these. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. Okay, here's a question. Karen wants to know, how do we access the body code mind map you've been using tonight? Okay, well, let me show you. If you own the body code, in order to access this map, you have to actually own the body code. And then if you have any kind of a membership level on healerslibrary.com, okay, it can even be a free membership, then you should have access to that map. Let me just show you here. If we go to, let me switch applications really quick. Here we go. If you go to bodycodehealing.com, that's our new website that tells all about the body code and how the body code came about, and what the body code is, and what's included in this package. And it's really kind of an amazing thing. Going into the healing arts for me was really an answer to prayer. And so when I got into practice, I got into another habit of praying and asking for help all the time with the people that I was working on. And the result of that was that over all those years that I was in practice, more and more information gradually kind of filtered down from up above, and so I was able to put together this whole system that we now call the body code. And I believed that I kind of planned in the back of my mind to release the body code to doctors at some point down the road. But because the most common kind of imbalance actually was trapped emotions, I wrote the book, The Emotion Code, and I wanted to get that out first. And I never really planned on releasing the body code to the general public. I just didn't think that it was for the general public. I thought it was just for doctors. And then about 3 years ago, I woke up one morning and my mind was full of instruction of what I was supposed to do. And it was very, very clear. And the instruction was, you have to take everything that you know about healing and put it into a self-study course and make it available to everybody, anybody that wants it. And I thought, are you sure about this? That was very, very clear. So it took about a year for me to put that together. But the body code, this is the website where you go, Body Code Healing or bodycodehealingsystem.com, same place. And with the body code, you actually receive a manual that has 500 pages, and it's very simple, easy explanations about how to do all of this. You get another binder that contains all of the all 118 mind maps, and we print those in color and then connect those up numerically, so it's all how do you say it? It's easy to use if you don't have a computer, but you also get the mind map on CD, so that you can plug it into your own computer and then use it. In fact, we have the body code now for the iPad. Just came out, and that's really a neat thing. Works very, very well. So you get all of these things with it, and this, it's a system that I tell people, you could go to school and become some kind of a natural doctor. You could spend $150,000, for example, and you could go and become a naturopathic doctor, for example. But when you got out of school, you would still need this information, because you are not going to get this information in school. This is information that you're not going to get anywhere else. And so if you spend some time and you look at the site and you actually read about what all is included in this, I think you'll see that there's really nothing else like this. This is the most advanced self-study course on energy healing that exists really in the world, and I really honestly believe that. And so anyway, it's the system is. If I had actually kept this just for doctors, I could easily have sold this information to them for $10,000 or $20,000. We sell it for $1,000, less than $1,000 actually for people. So, and it has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So you got nothing to lose on that if you're interested in that. So that's where you would get that. And let's see here. Let me try to answer some more of these questions. Let's see here. Here's one. I've been using the emotion code and the body code system both for myself and quite a few people for a wide range of problems. While the results were quite amazing for the people I treated, I don't seem to be able to get very noticeable results for myself. Have you any thoughts or advice on this? Is it possible to be as effective to treat myself as I am when I use the body/emotion code? Well, it's a little bit harder to work on yourself, although many people have had great results working on themselves. One of the nice things that you can do is if you've got someone that you can work with, okay, that's sometimes a good idea. And of course, we've got all of our practitioners that are available that you can work with. But another thing that you can do is sometimes if you just have one session with someone else, with another practitioner, and you focus specifically on getting rid of any baggage that might be in your way of actually being able to help yourself, that can go a long way towards making things work better. Here's another question. This is from Kat. The question is, or Kathy, what kind of a magnet do I use? I'm actually using what's called a Niken biaxial power mag. Now, there are different magnets you can use, and you can use your fingertips, or you can use a zero-point energy device as well. But I'll show you what the biaxial power mag looks like. This is a really neat magnet made by Niken, and it has a little magnet on the inside that rotates with 360 degrees of freedom, and it just works really well. And the nice thing about having something like this is that it's very high tech, and it's kind of fun for people to look at. It's kind of impressive, and also if you have some kind of a problem, maybe you're not feeling well, you're sick somewhere, you've got some pain somewhere, maybe it's not a trapped emotion, you can actually just take this thing and put it, when you go to sleep at night, you can just put it under your pillow or put it near that area of your body, and it'll just hum away, and you usually feel better in the morning. So that's kind of fun. Let's see here. Okay. Here's another question. How did you decide on those particular 60 emotions? And how that came about was there are other charts of emotions. It was the Chinese that actually discovered what they believed were the emotions that are produced by the different organs in the body thousands of years ago. And so there are other charts of emotions, and the chart that we used to use was actually bigger than this. But over the years of teaching the emotion code, I was able to refine it down. Now you'll notice that this chart, for example, does not contain obviously every emotion that's out there. But in all the years that I've been using this chart, and all the other practitioners that have been working with us for so long, none of us have ever had to go out to another chart and find other emotions. And the reason why is because your subconscious mind is so smart that if, for example, you're feeling the trapped emotion that you have is, let's say that you're really missing someone, and you have a trapped emotion because let's say that someone died and you missed them so much that it created a trapped emotion. Well, that exact emotion of missing somebody's not on here, but longing is, and it'll probably show up as longing. So, in other words, what happens is your subconscious mind will choose the emotion closest to that energy, and it's close enough. And so that's the nice thing about it, is that 60 emotions covers the whole range, and so we don't have to have 10 columns and 80 rows. So anyway. Here's a question from Charlie. He says, how does the emotion code differ? How does it differ from neuro-emotional technique? Neuro-emotional technique is a method that was developed by a chiropractor years ago, and it's primarily, as I understand it, I've never taken any of their training, but as I understand it, their method is primarily geared towards releasing releasing the emotions that are creating misalignments in the body, and it's an interesting thing because I would receive I was in practice for 17 years, and so I would receive their seminar invitations over every 6 months or so, and I always wanted to go, but there was always some reason why I couldn't go, and so as a result, I had to just stay in my own little cocoon, and this developed all by itself. And it might be a good idea that I wasn't really exposed to a lot of other methods. I haven't had time. I've been so busy just with my own things. But is there any connection between the emotion code and emotional auditing in Scientology? No. Lynn says hi. Hi, Lynn. Oh, how I'm muscle testing myself. Let's see, for this call, I've been using the what we call the hand solo method, okay? And the hand solo method is the method where you're actually just using one hand. Now, if you go to Healer's Library and you go to the emotion code, okay? Let me move this over here. You can go to training videos, and if you're a member of the site, okay, you can watch the videos on there. Caitlin says, I have a problem opening up to others. I believe this may be caused by a heart wall. Is there anything you can do to help? Caitlin, are you there?
Yeah.
You are? Okay, fantastic. Now, for those of you who don't know, the heart wall is where we end up having trapped emotions that develop a wall. The subconscious mind will put up a wall around the heart. When you have a heart wall, it interferes with your ability to connect with other people, and it interferes with your ability to give and receive love and so on. The ancient peoples understood that the heart was the seat of the soul and the core of our being and the source of our love and the source of our creativity and so on. And so when you have a heart wall, what happens is typically that will result from a period where you went through some kind of deep grief or hurt or loss. If we go through that kind of a feeling more than a couple of times, that is really an assault on the deepest part of our being, okay? And your spirit, your subconscious, does not like that feeling, and so it will put up a wall around that heart to protect that heart from being totally broken. And so it really is an energy wall. How this was discovered, actually, was a number of years ago. My wife had a dream, and in this dream, there were 3 symbols. And as I was trying to figure out these symbols, I suddenly saw before me this beautiful hardwood floor. It was actually a waking vision where I saw this incredible-looking hardwood floor, much nicer than the one you see in the picture here. But that's the best I could find. But at the same time that I'm seeing this, I have this understanding that my wife's heart is underneath this floor. And so we started trying to figure out what this was about and what was going on and what this meant, and it turned out that she had this wall around her heart as well. And so let's do this. Let me go back here for a second to our chart of emotions. Here we go. And let's have a moment of silence, and I'll ask for some help and see if we can work with you here for a second. Okay. And let's see if we got a good connection. Can I act as proxy for you? Yes. Okay, here we go, Caitlin. Let's ask. First of all, let's ask if you do have a heart wall, and the answer is yes. Okay. So can we release an emotion from your heart wall right now? And the answer is yes. And is this emotion in column A or is it in column B? It's in column B. And is it in one of the odd rows or an even row? Is it in row 2 or 4 or 6? In row 4. And is the emotion depression? Is it frustration, indecisiveness, or panic? The emotion is panic. And let's see. Do we need to know more about this emotion? We do. Caitlin, how old are you right now?
17.
17, okay. So when did this occur, this panic emotion? Did this occur earlier than 10 years old or between 10 to 15? 10 to 15. Did it occur around 15 or 14 or 13? 13. Panic at age 13. Does that ring a bell at all?
Nothing immediately comes to mind.
Okay. Nothing comes to mind, okay. Panic around age 13. Now, one of the things that happens when we go back like this and we find an age, it's accurate within a year, plus or minus generally. So you might be 12 or 13, or you might have even been 14. But there was something that happened. Let's ask if we need to know more about this, and the answer is actually no. So I'm going to go ahead and release this by passing the magnet from my forehead over the top of my head to the back of my neck 3 times. And let's ask if we've released that emotion. Yes. Do you still have a heart wall? Yes, you do. Can we clear another heart wall emotion? Yes, we can. Is it in column A this time? Yes. Is it in one of the odd rows or an even row? Is it in 2 or 4 or 6? Is the emotion humiliation or jealousy? Is it longing or lust or overwhelm? It's actually an inherited one this time. Inherited. Is it inherited humiliation or inherited jealousy or longing? Inherited lust or inherited overwhelm? It's an inherited emotion of overwhelm. And this occurred, did you get this from your father or from your mother? You got it from your mother. And did she get it from anybody earlier? No. Okay, you got it from your mom. So at some point before you were conceived, she had this emotion that she developed, this trapped emotion. And then when you were conceived, at the moment of conception, it was passed to you, feeling overwhelmed. Do we need to know more about this one? No. Okay. Well, Caitlin, I'm really glad that you're on the call and you're 17. I have to tell you that you can learn how to do this. In fact, I was telling some of the people on one of our calls yesterday that well, let me finish this and then I'll tell you. Hold on. I'm going to do 10 rolls here. Okay, there we go. All right, let's ask if we have cleared that inherited emotion of overwhelm from you, and did it also clear from your mom? Yes, okay. I was going to tell you, I was in Anaheim recently, and there was a woman at the seminar, and her son is only 11 years old, but he read the emotion code book, and he listened to the audios, and he started practicing on his friends. And it wasn't too long before this woman called up this boy's mother, and she identified herself as the mother of one of his playmates, and she said, your son has been doing some interesting things with my son, and she said, my son has had a phobia of water for a long time, and she said, he's out in the pool swimming now. She said, what happened there? How did that work? What's going on? What is your son doing? So anyway, kind of fun. So, Caitlin, let's see if you still have a heart wall. And actually, I'm getting a no. Now, typically, it's not unusual to have more emotions making up a heart wall, okay? But let's take a look here again. Do you have a heart wall or a hidden heart wall? No. Okay, so that actually cleared your heart wall, so today was your lucky day. Just 2 emotions making it up. And it's often more than that. The average probably, I think I've found between 18 to 24 emotions typically making up a heart wall, but it depends on the person. Sometimes it's just 1, so you never know. But that should help you. Send us an email and let us know how you do, okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks. Take care.
Thank
all right.
you so much.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay, well, that was fun. Well, let's see here. We are over time. I'm going to answer one more question here. And that one is, this is from Giorgio Gasparoni. And his question is, can we absorb emotions from other people? And the answer to that is yes. Even if you're not necessarily aware of it, it's possible. It is. And the reason for that is because, let's say, for example, you're a baby in the womb. One of the most common places that we see absorbed emotions is from babies in the womb, because mom is going through some intense emotions, and she's depressed or crying or whatever, and the baby's in there floating in its little tank, and those energies can be absorbed by that baby. Now, whether the baby knows whether mom is going through those emotions or not, I don't know. But that, I think, is the most common absorbed emotion that we see, are what we call prenatal emotions, and they're usually absorbed from the mother. Not always, but usually. So I think the answer to that one is yes, that we can absorb emotions from other people, even if we're not necessarily totally aware. So, okay, well, listen, we're out of time, and I'm going to try to answer the rest of these questions and put the answers on the blog, okay, at Healer's Library when we post this call, okay? So I want to thank all of you for your time and being on the call. Unfortunately, I've got some other places I've got to go, and so we're going to have to end it. But thank you so much. I appreciate all of your time, and we'll talk to you all again. And again, remember, if you go to the blog at Healer's Library, we'll try to get this posted and get this up pretty soon here. Okay, give us a couple of days. Okay, thanks again, everybody. Have a fantastic day, and we'll be doing this again soon.